All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are tackling a true giant, Amazon. We're going to unpack what the experts are saying about its stock all the way out to 2026. By the end of this, you'll have a super clear picture of what the future could hold for one of the biggest companies on the planet. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to ignore Amazon's reach, right? From the packages on our doorsteps to the cloud computing that powers, well, everything with AWS, and now with their big moves in AI and advertising. Look, figuring out where they're headed isn't just for Wall Street types. It's kind of like getting a sneak peek at where our whole economy is going. Okay, so you've got all these moving parts, crazy AI developments, big market shifts, what we're all buying. It's a lot. So what are the people who get paid to study this stuff actually predicting? That is the billion-dollar question we're answering today. We're not going to make you wait for it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get straight to the bottom line. What is Wall Street's final call on Amazon for 2026? There it is, plain and simple. We're talking across the board, from dozens of the top analysts out there, and the message is just unbelievably consistent and optimistic. And notice, it's not just a buy, it's a strong buy. That's a big deal. Now, this is what's really wild, the sheer agreement here. This isn't one or two people. This is a consensus of 61 analysts, and their average price target is sitting just shy of $300. And look at the names here. You've got heavy hitters like Bank of America and Jefferies, both pointing to 300. And some folks are even more bullish, with targets up at 350. That's some serious confidence. And here's what all those numbers actually look like. It puts it all into perspective, right? You see the current price, and then you see that average target. That's a pretty healthy jump, over 20% potential upside. But then you look at the high-end forecast. Wow. You can literally see the massive growth potential that Wall Street is seeing for this stock. So, okay, we've got these really optimistic price targets. But why? What's the actual story here? What's happening inside the business that has all these analysts so fired up? Let's peel back the layers. Just take a second and let that number sink in. $200 billion. That's the size of the contract backlog for Amazon Web Services, AWS. That's money that's already basically locked in. It's a gigantic, predictable river of cash flowing straight into the company's most profitable part. Just wow. So it really boils down to three monster growth engines. First, AWS is expected to kick back into high gear, growing at more than 20% a year. Second, you have all the excitement around AI, and Amazon is perfectly positioned there with its massive cloud infrastructure. And third, and this is the one that might surprise you, their digital ad business is becoming an absolute powerhouse, on track to gobble up a huge piece of the global market. Okay, so the story behind the business is solid, and the experts are all nodding along. But what about the technicals? Do the charts themselves actually back up all this hype? Let's take a look. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's quickly talk about something called the Golden Cross. It sounds like something out of a movie, I know, but it's a really classic, positive sign that traders look for. All it means is that the stock's recent momentum is so strong that it's starting to pull the long-term trend up with it. It's a huge thumbs up from the market itself. And guess what? Amazon's chart is showing one right now. And here is where it gets really compelling. It's not just one thing, it's everything pointing in the same direction. In a short term, you've got positive momentum, but it's not overheated, which basically means there's still gas left in the tank. And then for the long-term view, you have that classic golden cross we just talked about, confirming this powerful upward trend. It's all in sync. So let's tie this all together. We've looked at what the analysts are saying, what the business is doing, and what the charts are showing. What's the big takeaway for Amazon as we look toward 2026? So here it is, the whole shebang. You have this incredibly powerful alignment. It's not just one piece of the puzzle. You've got the expert opinions, you've got the rock-solid business fundamentals, and you have the technical charts all singing the same positive song. It's a really compelling three-legged stool of optimism. And, that brings us to one last really interesting question. When absolutely everyone agrees, when every single signal seems to be flashing green, you have to wonder, could the biggest risk just be that everyone is too optimistic? When expectations are this high, what happens if there's even a tiny stumble? It's definitely something to think about.